Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to my channel where we are learning occupational skills and knowledge. So our module 2 or chapter 2 is regarding fasteners, hand tools and power tools. So, the many machines or several parts they have to assemble together, and we have to use, or technician has to use several things to put them together. In metal work, we do soldering, brazing, welding, riveting, bolting, and so on and so forth. And also we fasten them through machine screws, right? Or nut and bolts, right? So these type of all metal tools, we will learn here what type of fasteners we have, why we need the fasteners, how we categorize them, or how we identify how we can write them, right? So here on the board I have written something, identification of screws, right? So then we will learn that how sometimes we have this number like this, or sometimes we have number like this. So what does it mean if it is written for the screw or the machine screw like this? So technician should know that what we are talking about. So we will learn in this video. So a brief that fastener can be categorized as wood screw, sheet metal screw, or you can say steel and stainless steel or brass. That is depending upon the type or the composition of the material we use. Or we can say that is the unit of measurement is also important in screw system or nut and bolt system. So sometimes we say standard screw or standard nut and bolt means the size of the threads are measured in inches, right? And when we say metric means the threads are measured in millimeters. So there are two systems like unit of measurement: standard in inches, metric in millimeters. Then it also depends on function of fastener, nut, bolt, washer, right, or spring washer we use all the time in machine assembly. Then we have application, that how we are using it. It's a self tapping or is a machine screw, or what we have to use. Like, so diameter of the thread is one of the important component in classification, right? What is the diameter of the thread? So when we say diameter of the thread, there are type of the threads we should know, or technician should know that there are two types of the threads. One is fine thread, other is called coarse thread. Coarse means thick, fine means thin, right? So coarse and fine thread. Then we have a type of fastener's head. What type of the head the fastener has? That means it may be having a round head, it may be having an oval head, or countersunk head, or whatever head it has. We have to signify that also. So these are the things which one need to know. Tool needed for fastening. What tool is required to fasten that? Sometimes you have to use only a screwdriver, sometimes we have to use socket and wrench, sometimes we have to use Allen head, Allen key, right? L type of the key. So what type of the tools we need to fasten that screw, right? So these kind of things are important to know, but they are just like need to know. I am not making any question from that, but small questions can be asked, like screws are dash fasteners. So screws are dash fasteners means what we have to fill up in the blank. Screws are stand-alone fasteners. Is right? Screws are stand-alone fasteners, right? Why? A pre-drilled hole is there, right? A pre-drilled hole is there, so we put in a tapping screw into it. Or if there is a hole and we have to put a machine screw, or there is a sheet metal that is self-tapping screw with a drill, right? So these kind of things like screws are stand-alone fastener. This comes in exam several times, right? Then there are bolts. We know that bolts and nuts. With the bolts and nuts, everybody know that washers is also important, right? What is washer? Washers are flat circular pieces of metal. So this can be asked, washer are flat circular, and flat circular is like a blank. So you have to say washers are flat circular pieces of metal, right? and they are used both with nuts and bolts. What is nut? Yeah, the simple definition. Nuts are female threaded fasteners. Nuts are female threaded fasteners. And what is bolt then? Bolt are the male threaded fasteners, right? So the male threaded means that the threads are on the surface, on the top of the surface, and female threaded means the threads are on the internal surface. Internal surface of a nut always has a thread, and if the matching threads are there, then only bolt can go into the nut, right? That is important. So we need to know about these simple definitions, which I revise it for you. So then there are several types of the screw. Wood screw, right? Wood screw to fasten many types of the material to wood. Therefore, it is wood screw. Then there could be a flat head screw, round head screw, oval head screw. I can show you some pictures so that you can have a look at this. So this is like, you can see that this is round head screw, right? This one is oval head, right? This one has, so these are the type of screws we have classified based on head. This is flat head. You can see this one is flat head. So it has a flat head, it has a round head, and it has a oval head. Then there's a self-tapping or tapping screw. So you can see that we have this tapping screw, right? So such kind of things, like when you go on job or when you go to the workplace, you will come across these settings or these numbers, right? So you should know that what type of thread we are using, what type of nut and bolt system we are using, right? Now we come to the topic, that identification of screw, how to identify them, right? So we have here few bullets. Outside thread diameter. So we should know outside thread diameter, right? Number of threads per inch, that is important. TPI, sometimes this is in abbreviation, TPI, threads per inch, right? Then length of the, so this is this, right? Length of the screw, that is also defined. Type of the point, what type of the point it has, right? The tip. Type of the head, what type of the head it has. So if something is written like this, every number has got its significance. What is 6? 6 is the outside thread diameter. This is 1. So 1 is 1, right? So 1 is outside thread diameter, which is 6. 6 millimeter, right? But in inches, it doesn't say. So you must be aware of these conversions, the important conversions, which is 0.138 inch. So this is 6 millimeter outside thread diameter. Number of the threads per inch, this is important. This is number 2. So this is number 2 here, right? So you have to remember that what first letter signifies or identifying. This is outside diameter. This is number of the threads per inch, TPI. Length of the screw. This is length of the screw, right? This is length of the screw. So we know this is type of the point, AB point, and then we have type of the head, right? Type of the head may be slotted type of the head or square head or whatever head it has. So we say the same thing. But here you can see the screws, many machine screws can be identified as outside thread diameter, number of the threads per inch, length of the screw, and type of the head. Only 4 things, right? So now example is, you can see something like 5/16-18 UNC-2. So what does it mean? Everything is significant. 5/16, same, outside thread diameter. Now this time it is in inches, right? We learned that there are 2 systems. One is standard and one is metric. When we talk in standard, that means we are talking in inch system. And when we are talking in metric, we are talking in millimeter, right, system. So 5/16 inch, that is outside diameter. Outside diameter. Diameter. Thread diameter, you can say. Outside thread diameter. Thread diameter. So what is 18? 18 is number of the threads per inch. This here, number 2. 18 threads per inch. So this is threads per inch, right? TPI. I can write TPI. UNC. UNC is Unified National Course. What type of the thread it has? C for course. C-O-A-R-S-E, course. And 2 is the class of fit. This is class of fit, means the amount of play between the internal and external thread. This is called class of fit. Class of fit. What is clearance between the two, right? Course. I will emphasize now on course and fine. So if we use the word UNC, that is Unified National Course. So I will write, if you find UNC, right? So it is Unified National Course. Unified, I will write it here, Unified National Course. That is, course means is a thick thread, right? UNF, if it is written UNF, that is Unified National Fine. That is fine thread, fine threaded, right? So we classify here this thing as UNC or UNF. What type of screw, or is regarding machine screw. So regarding machine screw, sometimes we write this, sometimes we write this. This is in millimeter system. This is an inch system. So hope you can identify when you go to the field, you can identify if something is written like this, you know what it's talking about. So the first digit is outside thread diameter, then number of the threads per inch, length of the screw, which is important, and type of the head. So hope you like the video. If you like it, subscribe to my channel, press the bell icon button to receive another educational video. Thank you for watching.